These are the shots and buds of Obi and Gabi to be planted here near the crowded part of the orchard with trees and shrubs. Now I have to uproot first or with the grass and other shrubs or plants, wild plants, to provide the space for the Gabi and Obi. I will not throw these ornamental plants, but I merely transfer it to the other parts of the garden. So after we dig a bigger hole for the OB, of course, before we plant the OB, we must return the soil before with the exact amount of space for OB. The only purpose of digging a bigger to provide a proper space for the root crops to grow better. But before we plant that, we must return the soil, of course, for the exact space to plant the OB. So after we dig a bigger hole for the OB, of course, before we plant the OB, we must return the soil before with the exact amount of space for OB. The only purpose of digging a bigger to provide a proper space for the root crops to grow better. But before we plant that, we must return the soil, of course, for the exact space to plant the OB. The advantage of OB, aside from its bigger size than any other root crops, because OB can be stored for more than 6 months at home. Despite of that, longer months staying at home, it can still be good for cooking, for food, and it can still be good to be planted. We can divide the root crops for planting with its new shots or roots ready to be planted after a few months. It is so. See, these are the weeds or shrubs or plants that crowded the place where I will plant the Gabi and Obi, but I consider this as ornamental plants, so I will transfer this to that part of the fence because it is also can be useful in the future. An important ornamental plants that can be used also in the future. So we must give an importance to every weeds, wild plants, flowers or grass, shrubs or trees. It will help us to give us a fresh air, oxygen, and it is very good for our environment. This vine is locally called merinda, or popularly known as passion fruit. So it is already ripe. It is too refreshing to eat or to drink this sour when raw, but it is also sweet and with a scented refreshing smell when it is already ripe. The good things of this passion fruit or merinda is that although this is not a wild vine, it can survive like a wild vine. When I take snacks or merienda, I prefer to drink fresh fruits like this one than drinking juice or soft drinks with artificial flavorings color. It is more delicious and refreshing, more vitamins than any other drink from the fruit juice, fresh fruit juice like passion, passion fruit. Preparation for passion fruit is very easy. We merely add sugar and cold water. While my neighbors are so noisy, I am now drinking refreshing toast, refreshing passion fruit. So refreshing, sweet. Like some other fruit juice. Passion fruit is one of the best juice we can drink. It is very refreshing, uh, much better than soft drinks and other OB, just like the passion fruit, although are not wild plants, they can survive like wild plants because even in the crowded areas with trees, they can survive because they needed tree.
Islap ng iyong mata ang siyang nakikita. Tibok ng puso at ngiti mo ang aking nadarama. Hinahanap mo ako na parang artista. Pag may tambuhan na iiyak ka pa. Tuwing ika'y kasama ko, ang mundo natin ay nalilito. Sa pag-ikot ay nagtatanong, ano nga ba ako sa'yo? Sabihin mo na, aminin mo na, bawin mo na ang alinlangan ko't akala. Sabihin mo na, aminin mo na, ako ba'y mahal mong kaibigan o higit pa sa isang barkada? Ng pagtingin mo sa aking gumigising, ganda't ganang loob mo ang siyang napapansin. Inaabangan mo ako katulad sa Pasko, ikaw ang Christmas tree, ang star mo ay ako. Tuwing ika'y kasama ko, Ang mundo natin ay nalilito, sa pag-ikot ay nagtatanong, ano nga ba ako sa'yo? Sabihin mo na, aminin mo na, pawin mo na ang alinlangan ko't akala. Sabihin mo na, aminin mo na, ako ba'y mahal mong kaibigan o higit pa sa isang barkada? Di ako magbabago, maaari bang marinig ang damdamin mo? Ano man ang awitin, nanatili kay kaibigan pa rin. Tuwing ika'y kasama ko, ang mundo natin ay nalilito, sa pag-ikot ay nagtatanong, ano nga ba ako sa'yo?